Hey, what's up, Trojan family? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports. This is your daily dose of USC Trojans recruiting news. 2027, we started talking about the class last episode. It's crazy. I'm still not over 2026. The 2025 season hasn't even started yet, but recruiting never ends. Coaches are always hot on the trail. Planning as far as 28. I'm sure 29 kids are going to start getting talked to, as you know, who are going to be true freshmen soon. I mean, we knew about Boobie Feaster. Coach Simmons was talking to Boobie Feaster as he was becoming a freshman in high school. So the recruiting begins very early. So it is very important to start building these relationships as soon as possible. So looking at 27, another name has kind of started to emerge as someone on the USC Trojans radar, someone that Coach Henderson has been linked to on the defensive line, and that is Tustin Tillers, the good old Tustin Tillers, fight on, Frosty Rucker alumni from Tustin. So Jonathan Ioane, I believe I'm saying his last name correctly. I'm sure someone will correct me. If not, please do. But Jonathan Ioane, an elite four-star defensive lineman from Tustin. Obviously he's starting to plan out his visit schedule. He's a highly sought-after defensive lineman, but USC right now, long way to go, but right now feels like the team to beat. They are at the top of the list, and I'll get into why. But as long as USC kind of maintains their push, maintains their recruitment of it, maintains their yearning for him to be in a smaller 27 class, they're in the driver's seat to get it done. So that is always good to see and good to hear. As far as Ioane goes, Rivals has him as the 17th ranked defensive lineman in the country in their industry rankings. He's 153rd ranked nationally, so makes the cut for the Rivals 300, and the 14th ranked player in California. Rivals actually ranks in the highest of any of them, so their industry ranking is 17th. Their Rivals lone ranking is actually 15th. And then 247 has him at 20th, and ESPN has him at 18th. So top 20 player at the position, clearly. Going to grow more into his body. 6'3", 280 right now, as I mentioned, defensive lineman. Probably is that versatility of interior or slide out wide, depending how much more weight he puts on. Obviously, at the collegiate level, you'll want to see him closer to that 300-pound range to be a true interior DL. But again, he's entering his junior season in high school right now. So 6'3", 280, I can't even imagine being that, ever in my life, being a 5'8 dude. But it's certainly a junior in high school. So, but the kid has great traits. Tustin is going to be a solid program this year. They've got a lot of top-tier kids that are getting highly recruited by some of these top programs in the nation. So watch out for Tustin football. I'm planning on being at a lot more high school games this year. I'm really excited about that. Obviously, we've talked a lot on this network about going down to Coach Rowe's first game at Jordan High School in Long Beach. If anyone wants to come out, we'd love to see you there. But I want to be kind of especially for the players linked to USC and that USC is recruiting. I'm going to be at a lot more high school games, trying to get more intel for you guys and just, provide better information as we continue growing this platform and hopefully competing with the likes of On3 and 24/7 in terms of recruiting information that you guys can get. So, but in terms of why USC is at the top right now, and again, this all can change very quickly, but Rivals has him right now in their recruiting prediction machine, 97.1% in favor of USC. UCLA across town is the next favorite at 1.5%. Now, UCLA will certainly have a good push in this. I think their pedigree dating back to kind of Chip Kelly's final years, but also obviously now with Deshaun Foster and what they've done on the defensive line. Makike Elo, I always feel like I say his name wrong, so I apologize, but defensive coordinator for UCLA. Has done a great job with, the defensive line. Obviously, he's more of kind of the linebacker coach, but obviously has a say on the defensive line as well. And they've produced some top-tier talent there. So, and the likes of Deshaun Foster being a Tustin alumni certainly has that connection as well. But USC right now in the driver's seat, he had this to say when talking to Rivals. USC has a big marketing opportunity with football and the school as well. It has a lot to offer. I love the D-line staff. I've known them for a while now, and we have a good relationship. They're pretty versatile on the D-line, and I like that. Coach Henderson, his experience just solidifies that you can't argue with that. There are some resumes you see, and you're like, hopefully one day I get some of that coaching. So, certainly Coach Henne, Coach Nua have already done a lot to kind of lay the groundwork for this potential recruit in Ioane. And obviously now you got the next kind of year and a half, 2 years to prove the concept of how improved this defensive line is at USC. And this 2025 season is going to tell a lot with how much they've improved, not just because of the depth and size, but also in technique, skill set. Hopefully those sack numbers go up. And so a lot of the recruiting is going to take care of itself if that proof of concept in terms of elite coaching comes to fruition. And we see the likes of these guys, especially young guys like Jakeem Stewart, see how quickly he can develop. Floyd Bacard, see how quick he can develop on the defensive line. But among others, obviously Devin Tompkins is a guy that was recruited kind of as a basketball player, never played football. Now he's, slated as your starting interior defensive lineman and is set to have a big season. So that kind of development is going to speak a ton of volumes to these young kids looking for the next program. Because now that USC's caught up with NIL, we're good. Like SC's good with NIL now. There's no more going to be losing guys based on NIL unless they decide to kind of pull the brakes back and like, okay, we don't want to spend that much. But if it's a guy they truly want, and as long as their coaching staff and development speaks for itself, they don't got to worry about NIL. So this is a big season to prove that out. And guys like Jonathan Ioane, and I did a video last week on George Toia, who's also a top defensive line prospect. I think he's number 2 in the entire class, who I don't think, based on conversation I've had, I don't think USC is recruiting him as hard right now. That can certainly change, but he's not one of maybe their premier guys on their list. And so we'll see where Ioane kind of falls into that. Because like I said, this 27 class is going to be much more in the 17 commitment range, not the 35 commitment range like this 26 class. So the coaching staff and the program is going to be much more picky who they go after. And likely it'll be 17 blue chip players just because, they can be more selective and more picky, or they have to be just to make the rosters work out. So Jonathan Ioane, one to watch for, set to have a big season at Tustin. And the Tillers, I think, are going to be a good program this year. So they're going to be one of those fun high school programs to watch and see how they do. So let me know your guys' thoughts. That's kind of the latest on that. Any of these new 27 kids, as the 27 class starts ramping up, I will certainly be on here often. All of it is in editorial digital content over on LAFBnetwork.com, so you can check that out. Apologies. I know we missed the call-in show last night. Had something come up. Tim had something come up, so we had to cancel that, push it to next week. So we'll be back next week, 7 p.m. for the Conquest Call-In Show. Any other brief updates? If you didn't see, I was on a call with Lincoln Riley today with the media. I'll just quickly run through the obvious ones. Don't need to do a whole other video for it. Jacoby Lame back as a full participant. He broke his foot in May, per Lincoln Riley. Not sure what. Not sure if it was off the field. I'm assuming off the field. That was, I think, during their off time. And not sure how severe it was, but he is back, full go, no limitations. So that is great news. Walter Matthews, been a lot of questions about him. Highly touted recruit, tight end recruit out of Georgia. Hasn't been able to see the field, hasn't been able to kind of beat out Walker Lyons and even Joey Olsen, who's been a little banged up. And there's been rumors, and we've seen at practice him kind of taking some reps with the O-line. Per Lincoln Riley, he is a tight end. He is staying tight end. That is more for some blocking technique, and they still like where he is progressing, and we could see him in certain packages. So those were kind of the two big updates there. One other one, they're going to do the weekly captains instead of kind of announcing captains for the entire season. Some people, I think, probably have a problem with that. I see no issue with it. It just kind of allows guys, as the season goes on, different kind of leaders step up. Guys become more vocal. Jobs become different. Like a guy that maybe is a starter, and not even based on injury, but a guy that might start early in the season ends up getting overtaken by another guy midway through the season. And not saying that guy not starting shouldn't be a captain anymore, but doing it week to week allows new voices to step up and kind of take the initiative and be that leader. And Lincoln Riley said, obviously, the same guys can be captain every week. It's not like we have to have 4 new guys. Like, well, we saw it last year, a lot of the same guys. So I don't have an issue with it. I know maybe some people will or make a note of it, which is totally fine because I understand that side of it too. I understand, hey, who's your leaders? Like, who's the leader of the team? Cool. Those are your leaders. They should be the leaders the whole season. So I get that side. But, that is what it is. So I think those were kind of the really only main updates as the team kind of wraps up fall camp and prepares for Missouri State here in just less than 2 weeks. So I'm thrilled. Actual football is back. I'll be on later with the Madman. We're sifting through some topics. Probably focus a little bit on maybe just the roster overall, where we see the offensive line shaking out, the defensive back room shaking out with, obviously, as I've said many times, I believe 9 guys in that room are going to play on Saturdays. It's going to be a nice rotation of talented players. How we see kind of receivers, wide receiver 3, 4 shaking out. So I think we'll probably have that conversation maybe a little bit later tonight. That video should go up tomorrow. And obviously any more recruiting stuff I'll get out on the daily. And so that's it. So thank you as always, Trojan family, for hanging out with me. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Trying to get to 6,000 before the season starts. Would be a huge help if you get us there. We're, I believe, less than 100 away. So if we can get to 6,000 subs by the season, that'd be amazing. If you really want to help support LAFB, you can become a member on YouTube or just head over to LAFBnetwork.com. The links to below and become a community member over at LAFBnetwork.com. Part of your subscription is going to go to help youth sports initiatives here in Los Angeles. Plus, you'll get some merchandise discounts on our LAFB store. We've got some new merch launching here before the season starts for USC, but also across all of our LA sport portfolios. So some Dodgers gear, Lakers gear, stuff you can gear up for. I think they look cool. I think our designs are unique and fun, and hey, you help support us. Plus some content, perks, and then we've got some more brand partnerships launching here soon that will give you perks as well. Plus, you can just feel good about supporting a young startup in LAFB and all of our team here. So that'd be amazing if you want to help support that way. But most importantly, just appreciate you being here, tuning in, commenting whenever you like. That is always awesome to see, and I love engaging with all of you. So thank you all. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back very soon. As always, fight on.